Well, that's a new way to start one of our live streams, huh, Mac?
Yeah, just a little bit different.
It's an evening hours one. Normally we do them well ahead of 5 o'clock Eastern time. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I'm Tony at LPHQ East, about 7 miles away from where the Magic Kingdom is, where Mac currently is, coming at you live. Mac, what's going on?
Well, you said it's a different way to start. It's also different because I'm here. I don't.
Yes.
I'm happy to be on this side of it. I don't have to worry about the things I say. You can look up what's official. I can just make stuff up from here.
Is that true? I don't know. My computer is a little outdated, so I can do maybe one or two things at a time here. So.
All right. So, where do you want to go today? By the way, I don't really have much of a plan, but
well, you're a bit more daring than the folks I'm usually with. It's kind of funny. We were joking before we went live that lately we've always kind of been stopping at a Dapper Dan's performance or a Voice of Liberty performance. So I said, "What a great idea! Let's start off with the Flag Retreat, which also features the Dapper Dans." So if you're a regular here at Laughing Place, you got to see him again. So thanks, everybody. Again, we are live. Feel free to comment, ask questions, get involved with us. We'll more than happy to respond and answer questions and everything like that. I think, Mac, you're following the crowd heading down Main Street right now. Is that right?
Yeah, mostly because if I go the other way, we're leaving. So that's pretty much our options here.
That's fair. Are you going to march in step with them, or you looks like you're pretty far behind them actually now?
I think they've separated quite a bit at this point. I'm like the kid who gets lost at the end of the parade.
So says the leader says hello from Brooklyn. Hi out there in Brooklyn.
Hello.
Well, what's going on? How long have you been at the Magic Kingdom today?
All of 20 minutes.
Okay. All right. But you've been kind of around all of Walt Disney World. Anything special?
Yeah, so we are, excuse me as I try to talk over the patriotic music here. We are here this whole weekend for the Disney's Youth Sports and Great Outdoors Media event. So we are getting to check out some of the recreation offerings they have here at Walt Disney World that most guests probably don't know about. So we did some fishing this morning. We went and played golf. Not a full 18 holes because we would still be there for several more days if we tried to do that. But it was a lot of fun. There's a lot to do at Walt Disney World that you really don't think about. So it's a really cool way to sort of get the word out there.
Do you remember when you could parasail at Walt Disney World?
I remember seeing that. I never got a chance to do it.
Yep. Or water ski?
I also have seen video of that.
I've seen video of Goofy water skiing, and that terrified me.
I can't remember what it is. There was some special on Disney Plus that had some footage of that.
I would guess the Imagineering story, because that's the one I could think of, or Behind the Attraction, because those are the ones I can think of immediately that have a lot of archival footage like that. Kyle brings out, remember the Richard Petty experience?
I remember hearing of it.
It's part of the parking lot now.
Yeah.
And then speaking of things to do while you're there at Magic Kingdom, we'll definitely want to keep an eye on Tiana's all springing into summer now, because just the other day we learned that Tiana's Bayou Adventure here at Magic Kingdom will be opening this summer at Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom. I do believe California is still going with the fall or late 2024 date.
Yeah, I'm excited for Tiana's Bayou Adventure. I'm looking forward to. I mean, it's always exciting when we get a new attraction, right?
Yes.
And it's looking Kyle, really good. I haven't
later in 2024.
Oh, okay. I haven't been here to check it out in a little while, so I guess we should make our way over there at some point here. But do you have a specific route?
Well, I was going to ask you, when you go to Magic Kingdom, which way do you go? Do you go left, right, or
I anticipated this question as we were about to start today, and I think Magic Kingdom, more than any other park, I think I come here with a specific purpose. So I don't really have a chosen route. I guess I typically go left and start in Adventureland, but more often than not, I have a specific thing, and then more often than not, it's in Tomorrowland. So, yeah, I don't.
Well,
Don't
since you
really
go
have
that
a.
way more often than not, let's go left towards
Let's go
Adventureland.
left. And another thing I haven't done in a while: walk through the middle of the hub here.
It actually doesn't look completely awful right now
No, it's not. It's not super
in
crowded.
terms
I
of
mean,
crowding.
yeah, just awful. Just the
Yep.
worst place. Right as we look up at this magical castle.
That's
Yeah, no,
not
it
its
doesn't
name.
look like it's. It, I didn't say the magical castle. I just
That's
said
true.
this magical castle.
Kyle points out he's a Tomorrowland first guy. Everybody else out there, let us know. Which way do you go first at the Magic Kingdom?
What do you do, Tony?
I'm like you, where I typically am there with a reason. However, to borrow your terms, more often than not, I go Adventureland Liberty Square. Typically Liberty Square
Okay.
because my wife is a former Haunted Mansion cast member, and she likes to go check on her house. So I don't know if you got that. It seemed like it might have broken up a little bit, but we
It did
typically
break up
head.
a little bit. I heard you're going to check. You're
We
checking on
usually,
somebody's house.
yeah. My wife used to be a cast member of the Haunted Mansion, so
Oh, okay.
we
Okay.
like to go check on her house, which is usually we get there and she's spoiled. So anything more than about a 30-minute wait, no, we don't have to.
That's just locals in general, though, right? Because Haunted
There's
Mansion
other
is probably
stuff.
sure.
There are other things where we'll wait more than 30 for, but Haunted Mansion
Yeah,
typically is
especially
not one of them.
anything new, of course.
Yes.
But Haunted Mansion, I would say, is my favorite attraction in this park, and I have not been on it since they added the Hatbox Ghost. So,
Well, that's we thought it was great, but it's also why it's always pulling in those bigger weights right now, we think. So
okay, makes sense. I would also be more than happy to do that today, but there's a 0% chance the live stream holds up in the Haunted Mansion. So,
oh yeah, no, I'm just watching this now. At first I thought it was me, but it's not. But you're already getting a little choppy, so I don't think anywhere inside might be
okay.
fantastic.
Well, I will try to move through Adventureland as quickly as possible then.
Now this looks like there's some crowding going on here.
Yeah, it definitely does. And I did check wait times before we started, and looks like it was pretty long. So I guess it is a pretty busy day here at the Magic Kingdom. We just didn't. I guess we didn't see it as much at the hub because we watched. We watched so many guests leave as we were watching that flag retreat. So
yeah. You know where you might get a little bit better signal is up high. Why don't you go like to the left and up some stairs?
Oh, how did I know this was going to happen?
Because it's easy.
I tried to walk past it as quickly as possible.
Oh, you know it's a busy day when there's a cast member there.
Yeah.
I have a temperature reading 75 degrees. Are you feeling warm over there?
You know what? It's actually really, really nice out right now. It was a little warm earlier today, but now we've got a lot of cloud coverage, so the sun's not beating down on me anymore.
I feel like those nets above you are new, or I've never noticed them in 14, 15 years.
I haven't climbed a tree house in a long time, so everything to me will look new. I think actually I have done the treehouse over in Disneyland much more recently than I've done this one.
Wow. Speaking of the Disneyland treehouse, is this water conveyance system working?
No.
Okay. All right. I will clip this and send it to Mike and tell him he is not alone.
No movement.
Our own Mike Celestino,
no
who
water.
covers Disneyland stuff, has been on Water Wheel Watch pretty much since the new Adventureland treehouse opened in Disneyland. And every time he goes, he checks to see if it's working or not, because it's about half and half right now.
That's interesting because I thought the ratio was much worse than that. So
I was being
glad
generous.
to hear half and half.
I was being generous. That's based on my experience with streaming with him, not so much his collective experience. So, Donna said she wanted you to wait further back because she wants a Dole Whip.
Yeah. I actually, okay, so I want your preference, and actually sound off in the comments too. What's the best combination of Dole Whip and its variants? Because I have been a big fan recently of, over here at Aloha Isle, the coconut soft serve with the, of course, pineapple Dole Whip. That is really good. If you like coconut, that is so good.
In terms of Florida, I have the hot take where I don't go for the Dole Whip. I go for, I think it was called the citrus swirl, and it's the one that has like the frozen orange juice blended with the vanilla soft serve. That's where my money goes. And Kyle agrees.
Yeah, no, that's a great
citrus
choice.
Swirl. Yep.
Yeah. The citrus swirl is delicious. I mean, they're all good. They've done some more sort of one-off variants in recent years. You see a lot of them at Disney Springs, where I can't confirm whether or not some of the weirder ones are good. But all of the classics, including, which I'm now lumping in with the classics, the new coconut soft serve, they are all great. So can't go wrong.
Donna comes in. FYI for you youngins, in the old days, the DL Disneyland Treehouse water was off a lot. I loved it, so I always looked for the water features.
I have definitely not been up here since Tron opened, so that's cool to see over there.
Yeah. We're a little steady right now based on your picture. Like it's a still, I should say. Oh, there it goes. Okay. I was going to say you could kind of make it out if you know where to look. But yeah, I think maybe we just need to get out of Adventureland altogether.
Okay. All right. I'll get moving through the rest of the treehouse here.
That was my fault. It was a bad idea after all. So keeping it real with Dan. Disney needs more land expansions to help compete with Epic Universe. You are like me, where we are big Universal fans. What are your thoughts?
Yes. On that specific comment, or in Epic Universe as a whole?
Let's go with that comment.
I don't know that I would say they need more land expansions because Walt Disney World is massive. There's so much, as we were talking about with the media event that we are here for. There's so much to do that you don't even think about. That it's obviously we're getting out of the realm of theme parks in that instance, but I think there's already just so much here that I don't think they necessarily need expansions. But having something new is always nice.
I wouldn't say land expansions. I would say, because you can't really compare a land expansion to a whole new theme park.
Sure.
What I do think bluntly would be it's to up the game. Because right now, based on the timeline, if Epic opens in 2025, which they have announced, but they haven't really said when, and based on progress I've seen, I would say it's sooner than later in 2025. So all Disney is going to kind of, as far as we know, going at bat with is Tiana's Bayou Adventure, which is a reskin of a classic ride, although it will have a lot of swanky new features. Right. Don't get me wrong. But then and a new Country Bear show. So that's not really, that's a bunt. We need a home run. But what's great with having these
Tony
two massive
is famous
competitors.
Sorry, Tony is famous for his sports references, by the way. So,
hey, I have to watch a hockey game next week. Stay tuned to laughingplace.com for Big City Greens NHL Classic coverage. I thought it was a good sports reference. Come on, Mac.
It was well done. I was just pointing out that it's out of your wheelhouse a little bit.
A little, just a bit. Although there is a conspiracy theory amongst my friends that I am a closeted jock and sports fan, because I've made jokes and there's footage of me running and jumping and playing games. Is there a reopening date for the Bears? Asked by Donna Pendleton. It is, I believe it was just said summer. And at this point, we know Tiana is also opening in summer, and those attractions are basically neighbors. So I would be more or less inclined to believe they will both open at the same time.
Yeah, that sounds like it would make a lot of sense. So, who knows?
That's speculation. That is not an
Right.
official date by any means. But I just can't imagine them pulling a Toontown and Roger Rabbit from back in the 90s where it's like, well, they're both ready, but let's space them apart by 6 months. Not for the Country Bears. No offense to Country Bear fans out there.
Are you a Country Bears fan, Tony?
I'm more of a Tiki Room guy.
I would agree with that.
If you want to get into singing variety shows, I'm a Food Rocks diehard. But in terms of the classic Tiki Room or Country Bears, I would skew more Tiki Room.
Listen, leave it to Tony that if we're going to talk about any variety of attraction, his favorite is the one that closed years ago. That's how it's going to be.
But I'd like to point out I'm not the one, like, aside from one of them, protesting the closure and thinking, oh, everything is awful now because it closed. No, it's just that had a special place.
No, yeah,
from back in the day.
I will absolutely give you that. You are not that kind of person.
Mr. Bob Newell asks, Mr. Bob Newell also says Team Bears, but asks, do you think the changes to Magic Kingdom should be dramatic? Depending on where you ask, do I think certain aspects of the park that exist need some kind of technological overhaul to bring them out of 1971? Absolutely. I think Bob Newell might be referencing to whatever potential might be coming to Beyond Big Thunder. And regardless, if you're doing anything on that scale like they've teased, that's dramatic regardless. So
yes, that's definitely true. I'm still, as all of us are, really wondering how much of that is actually going to happen.
Yes.
But we'll see.
And then we're not even getting into I don't want to get the quote wrong, but Iger basically has said a fifth park is not off the table.
Paraphrasing,
yes. Kyle, Bears greater than Tiki, and he says Tony loves under new management, which is not true at all. Though I did love the Zazu animatronic, I will say that.
Tony loves under new management the same way that Kyle hates Orangebird. That's it. Sound off, Orangebird lovers.
Yep.
Kyle is against your favorite character.
Country Bears or Orangebird?
Are you asking me?
Anybody.
I mean, I would go Orangebird in that instance. I don't know how you compare the two. We're talking about a character versus an attraction, but...
Mr. Bob Newell, I am sorry we made your head explode. No, Iger said, I want to say it was on the earnings call or a CNBC interview that they have talked about it, if I remember right. I might be wrong. Somebody feel free to correct me. But yeah.
This is looking beautiful, by the way. I haven't been here in, it's probably only been a few weeks, but to me, that's a long time. But yeah, this looks really, really nice.
Do you remember the original concept art that had Mama Odie's boat at the top? And
yes.
It looked like Splash Mountain met Typhoon Lagoon and kind of created something new.
Yes, I do.
That's the version that got me excited. Now this to me just looks like, it's Seven Dwarfs Mine Train with water.
Well, I mean, there's still work to be done here, obviously.
Absolutely,
but,
absolutely.
I think the addition of the greenery and the flowers and I think that looks really nice. It's not particularly beautiful against this gray overcast backdrop, but also exciting that we do have running water, unlike the treehouse.
So the other day we were doing a live stream with Jeremiah, and this was completely empty. But at the same time, other tweets were going out saying they saw logs testing from other sources, and I refused to believe it because it was dry.
That actually just brings to mind another anecdote from our experiences today with the media event. One of our other stops was the Tri-Circle D Ranch.
Very nice.
And they talked
Over
about
at
how
Fort
they
Wilderness.
offer, yes, and they were talking about how they offer carriage rides, but then in the month of December they offer sleigh rides. And so somebody asked, how do they do sleigh rides here in Florida? And they're like, well, they're on wheels, so it's pretty much a carriage that they call a sleigh, but still a really cool offering.
Keeping it real with Dan brings up, speaking of new ideas, will it be cool if Inside Out Wonders of Life, it could play a tribute off the original Wonders of Life? Fun fact about Inside Out, Pete Docter's first animation project professionally with Disney was Cranium Command's pre-show, as working on that, for the record, which carried over into Inside Out, which is very similar in concept. But I'm going to keep it real with you, Dan. There's already something in Wonders of Life that we still don't know what's going on with, and it's the Play Pavilion.
Right.
So I don't know what's going on over there. Nobody ever does. Well, somebody does, but we have no idea. Rusty asks, if they did build a fifth park under Iger and DeMauro, it would be the smallest, cheapest, low-budget park, lacking creativity and the immersive atmosphere and architectural theming. Rusty, I love how blunt you are. For reference, I would point you to 2001's Disney's California Adventure under Michael Eisner and Disney Parks chairman then Paul Pressler. And even then, after that, Walt Disney Studios Paris. Kyle, your comments, I'm waiting for them.
So I just came over here, all of that conversation aside, I just wanted to kind of point out, I don't know if you can see it very well in the video, but the mural on the building back there past the queue for the railroad over here.
I know you can see it kind of closer if you go down the steps like you're going to the old bathrooms.
Okay, let's see.
Kyle says, I beat him to this comment, which I'm guessing was regarding Walt Disney Studios Paris.
Yeah.
Where Imagineer Bruce Vaughn popularly said in the Imagineering story, wait, we're on stage right now? When he got it backstage to it. Have you been over there?
Over where?
Paris.
No, I have not.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
I forget who's gone where. I'm sorry.
That's very fair. I mean, Laughing Place team is all over the world at any given moment. So
yes. The reason I asked too is because I've only seen it through video myself, and even those video of Walt Disney Studios Paris makes me go, okay, I don't need to go. So.
Well, I will say that park has added Avengers Campus, so yeah, that's reason for me to want to check.
There you go. That's fair. Mr. Bob Noah points out nice construction panels, and he also wants to know what happened to Jeremiah. Did he get fired? We
finally, yes.
That information
it finally
at
happened.
That point. Oh, okay. You just want to tell him? Okay. All right.
No, Jeremiah has not been fired. Let's clear that up.
Yes, let's clear that up.
No, Jeremiah is one of those members that is gallivanting around the world at any given moment.
I believe he's in Alabama.
Yes.
He did a D23. So if you check out laughingplaces.com's coverage of a touring exhibit of heroes and villains costumes, I believe is what it is. It made its way to Alabama or Arkansas or one of the other A states. That's not Alaska or Arizona.
It was Alabama. This is a 70-minute posted wait time for Big Thunder. It looks longer than that to me.
How's the Lightning Lane line?
It's hard to tell where it separates over here.
Okay,
so actually, never mind. All right, so this is the standard queue. This is all the Lightning Lane backed up.
Okay. Which means that standard queue is not going to be moving for a little bit.
Right.
Or sporadically. Keep it real with Dan coming out with some more armchair Imagineering here. I would love to see a Monsters Inc. arcade ride in Tomorrowland. It could replace Stitch's Great Escape.
Arcade ride is in something like Buzz Lightyear,
which is
that
10 feet away. Yeah, I think that's what he means.
Okay. Wasn't that an attraction where you shine the light, like the logo?
It's in Tokyo, Monsters Inc.
Yes.
Ride and Go Seek, which, as of Marty Sklar's first book, is one of 4 attractions that has the word ride in the title.
Wow.
It's one of my favorite trivia questions. What are the other 3? Anyone?
That was what I was about to ask you, because there's no chance I'm coming off with that as I'm walking around.
I'll leave it be in a second. Everybody, come on up. Guess some. I have them right here. I know exactly what they are, but yep.
You have them right here as if they're not
in my brain,
at
in my recall. I always forget one, but because we started, I have them all in my head now.
All right, just wanted to give one more look at Tiana's Bayou Adventure before we move on here.
With the water running, which is big news. We might need pictures of that for later. So
okay.
Mr. Bob Newell has a very interesting question, but I'm also very curious. What does it smell like where you are?
Actually, that is relevant, because it does smell like that water. Now it smells like popcorn, but over there it smelled like that water.
Kyle came out with one of them, the Great Movie Ride. So we're up to 2, Monsters Inc. Ride and Go Seek and the Great Movie Ride.
We've got a jamboree of some sort happening out here that is blocking the path.
If it's got Wendell there, I need you to leave. Wendell's a big part of why I'd go to the Tiki Room instead. Oh, I see Horace Horsecollar. I see Big Al.
Fun fact, Horsecollar would be the only Disney character that is illegal in the NFL.
But if they were at the Super Bowl, they'd never get called. So where's that flag? I mean, what? I don't know. Football? Huh?
I don't know. There might be another Disney character that's named like Holding or something. I don't know.
Mr. Bob points out number 3, Mr. Toad. Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Go.
The 4th one's the tricky one. I'll tell you, it's not at Magic Kingdom or Tokyo.
That's fine. As I'm walking around here, I can come up with like 3 attractions off the top of my head at most. So,
okay.
Yeah.
And are they all? Can you see all of them?
Can I see? Yes. Yeah.
The ones you're thinking of, are they in,
yes.
like, in your sight line? Okay.
Yeah, and one of them's closed. So
asks, what's the best seat location at the Enchanted Tiki Room?
Oh wow. Sorry. That seat location to me is just as far away from those the creepy wall faces as you can be.
Okay.
I will say Tiki Room is also, I would take that over Country Bears. It's still not an attraction I do very often.
I would usually go centered, probably 2nd or 3rd row back. I don't know. That way you could still kind of see everything. It's kind of like a plus sign, the seating. So as long as you're not in the back of either arm of it, you just want to be more towards the middle. When's the last time you ate at Liberty Tree Tavern?
Never. That's not even a joke. I've never eaten there.
Well, we'll change that. Kyle says
the rest of this live stream just me eating at Liberty Tree Tavern.
Only if I get to get up and go meet you there. And then I'll get yelled at by my wife, who would love to join because that's one of her favorites also. Kyle says Storm or Sea Rider. I guess that kind of counts, but that wasn't one of the ones. Morgan, there she is. Let's go. But that wasn't one of the ones Marty said specifically. I think he means ride in lieu of the word attraction. Go away, clip. There we go. Okay.
Can I just come up with like other attractions that have the word ride just like in the middle of them somewhere?
Kyle gets Happy Ride with Baymax. I think that would have to be added to as a 5th one, because I go back to the list from when Marty Sklar wrote his first book and pointed out the 4. Happy Ride with Baymax did not exist then. So I guess there would be 5 now. That's a very good point, Kyle. Thank you so much. But I'll give you the 4th one because nobody will get it. Living with the Land boat ride. That's the official name of that attraction, Living with the
Well, see,
Land boat ride.
I was gonna say Haunted Mansion ride or It's a Small World ride, but
Jess will also be joining. She'll meet us there. So your wife will be joining.
Perfect.
There it is. It's a double date. Well, some happy haunts are materializing, it would seem, and messing with our signal just a bit.
Oh, good. I will walk away from the Haunted Mansion then.
Oh, as you turned, it got clear substantially.
That is actually a little bit spooky.
Yep. Columbia Harbor House still closed for refurbishment, it looks like, or can you eat while the scrims are up?
You
if
can.
somebody's right there, I'm gonna... Okay,
yeah.
okay.
I see. No, there's nobody. Like the Hatbox Ghost is just right in the window.
Have you seen? It's a video going around of a guy on a cruise ship who's like looking at his reflection in somebody's window, and he gets up close 100%. To it. And you see the face of the person watching him. That's what I was hoping would not, but kind of would happen as you did that.
All right, I'm gonna pan across quickly. Everybody spot a Pascal. All right, I hope you got one.
Here you go. Keep it real with Dan. A good idea. I would love to see a Figment 3D show.
Oh, okay.
That would. Yeah, I wouldn't hate that.
It honestly lends itself better to the character than his current attraction. So
yeah.
35-minute wait for It's a Small World. You know it's a busy day at Magic Kingdom when?
Yes.
Let's see. What do we think Peter Pan is?
75.
That's a good guess. I was going to say 70, so it's going to be 72 and a half. You were right.
Ooh. I'd like to point out, too, my phone is further than arm's length away from me, so I did not use the app for help on that one.
Sure, Johnny. We have no proof of this.
That's true. There is none. I would have my camera off on my end. So Bill Groves points out it doesn't look super busy.
Yeah, timing is everything with a comment like that.
Yep.
Because it has, like in parts of the park, it doesn't really look like it's super busy. And then you get to certain areas and sure enough, there's all the people.
Your wife is pointing out my strategy. It's always 75 minutes, like always.
Yeah, I would say it's always in the 70 to 80 minute range. So yeah, it's we had pretty good odds of getting that right.
Keep it real with Dan taking us back to Epcot. Would it be awesome if the new Test Track 3.0, not the official name, included animatronics? It's always cool with animatronics.
Animatronics of what? Cars?
Like Pixar's cars? Or
I don't know. I mean, because it technically, I guess, does have an animatronic of a truck.
Because the one in does it move though?
It did, didn't it? Maybe it doesn't. I'm not sure.
So I was gonna say the one that I can think of that they used to have in Test Track 1.0, not its official name, had the van that slid into the wall for the barrier test, and then eventually it just became like a motion on the back end to make it look like it just hit, and then it just became a static figure. So
yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe the truck does just shine the lights and honk the horn, but there might be a little bit of movement. I'm not sure.
Because even your namesake truck in Radiator Springs Racers at California Adventure, Mac, they also it has just the projection eyes, and that one might rock back and forth, but it doesn't come out or anything.
I believe it does. Yeah.
Morgan, bring back the test dummies.
Let's watch a roller coaster.
Bill talking about the crowd still been there where you cannot move through Pan many times. That's true.
Oh, yes. It's definitely true. It's that area in particular can be impossible to move through.
That one, in that little mansion, dead end corner, no pun intended. Aladdin. Those are like the three biggest pinch points in the park that I can think of. I feel like there's one in Tomorrowland. I'm forgetting.
Yeah, and Aladdin is a tricky one too because you can easily get spit on by a camel if you're not moving through quickly enough.
Yes.
I stopped here at Be Our Guest real quick because I recently covered an event called Field to Feast that Disney is a part of every year. It's a great cause. You should check it out. We have a write up on it on laughingplace.com right now, and they had a whole bunch of Disney restaurants or chefs from Disney restaurants with some really awesome offerings. Not necessarily items that they have on their menus at those restaurants. So I tried. I had never had bone marrow before. I tried a bone marrow creme brulee. And, there are a lot of like really fancy Walt Disney World restaurants there. Be Our Guest is the one that was providing that creme brulee. So it was really good. I haven't eaten at Be Our Guest in quite a while, but might be time to go back.
Now, I've heard once you have bone marrow, you get a taste for bone marrow and it can never be quenched. Is that correct?
You might be thinking of vampires and blood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That'll happen.
Similar, yeah. Similar situation.
I make bad
totally
jokes,
understandable mistake.
But I make bad jokes. But for more information about Mac's experience with Field to Feast, check out the link that just is about to pop up in the comments for more information on that.
Yeah, a really cool experience, and it's for a great cause. It goes to the Second Harvest. All proceeds go to the Second Harvest Food Bank. Really
now,
cool
look to the right
do.
for me, and let's get a look at Seven Dwarfs Mine Train real fast.
Okay.
I didn't mean to talk over your tail end there. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Okay, I retract my earlier comment about Tiana's looking like it's a greener Seven Dwarfs, but
yeah, there's some differences in the look there. I could see sort of the Bayou flair of Tiana's Bayou Adventure as opposed to here. It's more rocky.
European village-esque.
Sure, we can go with that.
Sure. Well, I mean, you're supposed to be outside of the kingdom, quote unquote. That's why in the different villages outside of the kingdom, quote unquote, you can't see my fingers, because that's why you go through those other pair of turrets when you go to this area.
Oh, okay. There's so many specific theming details like that that just get completely lost.
Yep.
I always tell the story of Disney Springs and how much detail there is to that.
Yeah.
That people are never going to think about. By the way, 40 minutes for.
Oh, that's another one where if it's over 15, 20 minutes, it's time to leave the park.
Yeah. I can also never remember the official title of this. It's Under the Sea Journey of the Little Mermaid. Journey or Voyage. That's where I always get tripped up.
Voyage is the show, or was the show, because it's going to have a new name because of that very scenario. And you're not alone. My mom, back when Fast Pass Plus was still a thing, she's like, "Oh, I got us ones for the new Little Mermaid ride," and I go, "These are for the show." It just said Voyage of the Little Mermaid.
55-minute wait to meet Ariel in her grotto,
which is longer than her ride.
I find that to often be the case, though.
Simple math with Tony and Mac.
I think we can pitch it. That could be the new Laughing Place show.
Yeah,
it's just us solving simple math problems.
But it has to be in the context of like wait times, or maybe even opening dates.
Ooh, that might get too complicated. There's too many digits.
Later in 2004 is different than late 2004.
All right, choose our path here, Tony. Do we want to go right, or do we cut through Storybook Circus and go the Tron way?
Let's go the Tron way.
Let's go the Tron way.
Which, by my account, is games or de-resolution. So, I've liked a lot of ideas from Keep It Real with Dan today. This might be the very best one, except for the fact that it physically cannot happen.
That's
Bring back Spectro Magic.
I cannot speak to that. I never got to see Spectro Magic.
Spectro Magic is... So, for those who don't know, I worked at Magic Kingdom for a while, and I was subjected to Spectro Magic and many other parades numerous times a day, and Spectro Magic is the only one I never got sick of. I loved that parade. and it got pushed aside because they did another quote unquote limited run of the Main Street Electrical Parade, and I knew based on where they put those floats backstage, Spectral Magic was never coming back. And sure enough, they rotted and got destroyed in the weather. And then what remained of them got chopped up and put into pins. Special, I forget what they were called, but there was a series of pins that always had a piece of the magic. That's what they were called. A piece of the pin, the thing in it, and sold it. So Spectral Magic is not coming back in its original form. It might come back in title, but never how it was.
That was my next point. Is I was going to say, Tony, we can rebuild them.
Yep. Kyle's giving us our first episode. Multiply the number of Dumbo rides worldwide by the number of drops in Disneyland's former Splash Mountain.
Kyle, you lost me at multiply.
Oh, the Lily Bell's on the track at 5:45 at night. That's fantastic.
Yeah, they're going.
Back in the day, the Lily Bell was only used for the opening show. That featured the characters coming in on the train and open the park for the day, which has now been replaced by the stage show that happens at Cinderella Castle. All right, so I've got a notepad out, and I'm working on Kyle's question.
I don't remember what the. Again, he lost me at multiply. I stopped listening after
multiply the number of Dumbo rides worldwide by the number of drops in Disneyland's Splash Mountain.
Oh,
so,
okay. Well, now it's becoming controversial too, though.
Well, Disneyland has 4 defined drops, not just coming off of a lift hill. It has 4.
Yeah, but now we're diving deep into LP lore with this question.
That's true. That is true. And I don't typically like doing that for our newer viewers, but that is a years-old debate. That isn't a debate at all.
That fits into the category of debate along with, is Shrek a Pixar movie?
That's not a debate either. And the answer is no. Geo, welcome, Geo. The answer is not 42. Howdy. And then Kyle going back, identifying the joke, because I know what the joke is, Kyle. I just choose not to acknowledge it for the sake of our credibility. Anyway. So there are 2 Dumbos at Magic Kingdom. I cannot believe I am actually doing this like an actual equation. So there are 2 Dumbos at Magic Kingdom, one at Disneyland, one at Disneyland Paris. I think Tokyo has one.
Now wait, reread the wording of this question. Did it say Dumbos or did it say Dumbo attractions?
Dumbo rides.
Ooh, well, so now we're going back to our original point because it doesn't say ride.
Well, so is it Dumbo style rides or Dumbo the Flying Elephant, Kyle? We need specificity here. Jeffrey, Geo, sorry. Sucks that they took the benches out in the Tron pathway.
You know, I didn't even notice that until he just said that. But yeah, there used to be benches down this pathway here.
I asked Jeremiah this question. The Tron Legacy soundtrack, what are your thoughts?
Oh, I love it.
Okay.
And that's coming from somebody who has never seen the movie. So, but I think it's, I've sat here just to kind of take in the attraction, the lighting, the music. I think it's great. Your stunned silence tells me you are on the opposite side.
No, I agree. I love that soundtrack. Okay. I love the movie too. I've seen the movie multiple times. Actually, I think that might be the movie that holds the record for most times I've seen it in a theater. With 6.
Wow.
Kyle, I was just disappointed because Kyle just said he just got word that LP is passing on our math show.
So, that's disappointing. And a very quick ruling too.
Yeah, we didn't even shoot a pilot. We'll shoot the pilot and then you could give us our discussion, okay?
We didn't get our pilot order.
Yeah.
It's shut down immediately.
Felix Gomez, good afternoon, Laughing Place and Disney friends in chat. Always a pleasure to be back at beautiful Magic Kingdom. Hoping everyone is doing great today. Yay. Good afternoon to you too, Felix. Thanks for joining us.
And we are doing great. Thank you. Hope you're doing great too.
Absolutely.
All right, from watching Tron zip by to the Tomorrowland Speedway slowly trudging along. I was actually recently here with my cousin who was visiting from out of town, and we were on the People Mover looking down at the Speedway, and he looked at me and goes, "Is that how fast they go?" Yep, sure enough, that is their top speed.
You know what I love most about your sentence? You were looking down on the Speedway, and I think that's what we all do.
I will say this, and I think I don't know, maybe other people have this opinion as well. I enjoy Autopia.
In California?
In California, yeah.
1,000% yes.
Okay, good.
But this Speedway, what? Especially after you see how Autopia in California has been updated.
Yeah, I will say the Speedway during the holidays when they decorated it and have the lights up and everything, it is really cool. It's worth doing. But otherwise, Autopia, just far and away the better attraction. 95 minutes for space.
And that looks like a solid 95 too. Hello, person waving.
Yeah, back to the Autopia conversation. Jess and I only recently did our first Disneyland trip. I mean, recently as in like probably about 4 years ago now. Mm-hmm. And we were, it was our first time we were going to do all the attractions. We were blown away at how much we loved Autopia.
Yeah, Autopia is fantastic. I know they used to have, I'm not going to say different tracks, but like you would experience different things depending on what lane you're in. I think,
yeah. It's to
not
to
drastically.
It's more unique.
Yes.
All right. So doing live streams in Magic Kingdom, my go-to, the safe bet, is the People Mover. And that's not happening today.
No, if that's the end of the line for it, no. I was going to ask you to, but if that's going to be longer than we've already spent on the stream, waiting in line.
It might be, yeah.
Geo, agreed. Speedway can go. Autopia is great. I'm going to let you in on a little, and all of our viewers as well, on a little conversation I've had about the biggest wastes of space at Walt Disney World.
Oh, wow.
And I would be remiss if we didn't talk about Tomorrowland Speedway's appearance near the top of that list. So
that's fair. I would say the top of that list would have to be just unused land, because there's a lot of that.
Okay. We're talking about already developed things. Like, why? Donna wants to know, is it so busy because of President's Weekend, or has it been busy lately?
You know what? It actually has been pretty busy lately.
Yeah.
This was, for a while, I would have said, February is the quote unquote slow season. That's changed. It's really not the case anymore. It's just as busy now as it would be, a couple months ago.
With the introduction of dynamic pricing, I want to say almost 10 years ago now. Oof, faded dust. The slow season kind of disappeared.
Yeah, it did.
And there's no such thing anymore.
Yeah, which is both good and bad, for different reasons. So.
Yep. I was going to say, you want to get some fast passes over here, but no, that's not going to happen.
Some old paper fast passes?
Oh. Okay, so earlier I made the comment about things that I love that are gone that I not all of them do I say, oh, bring that back or anything like that. Paper fast passes is on there, but I don't know if we want to count that.
I enjoyed that experience. I remember a vacation I took, I could not tell you what year, but not being aware of the fast pass system, and then coming in and, just sort of running up to these machines and grabbing tickets as we're going through our day. And yeah, it was a cool experience.
And it kind of gave everybody a chance. Whereas now, like with Genie Plus and even Fast Pass Plus, when they did it, and you could get them 90 days out, anything desirable was gone at midnight, 30 days, 90 days out.
Right.
Kyle, the last paper fast pass I got was a wedding invite. Have you seen those? I like those. I think those are great.
I have not seen that.
A lot of times it'll be like where like the return times are, is their event times.
Oh, that's I'm shocked that you did not do that, Tony.
It was on our idea board, but we ended up not going with it. I've seen it too, where you get them. Somebody did this, and the attractions were all different. But when you got to the wedding, that was the table you were at.
Very cool.
And I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I love that.
No, we used pretty Italian ones because we had a pretty Italian wedding.
Now that is a spin-off movie, right? A pretty Italian wedding.
My Pretty Italian Wedding. Yeah, it's also a show on TLC coming soon where we just do math to figure out wedding budgets.
That's way too complicated for the math.
Yeah, it's LP passed on our math show, so I had to pitch a new one to TLC. It's already got a pilot order. This industry is great.
All right, Tony. I think we're going to wrap up here with a castle view, unless you got anything else you want to check out.
Go up a little closer to the castle. Go up the ramps.
Sure. Go up the ramps.
Kyle wants to know, is it the pretty comma Italian or the pretty Italian? The latter. I'm going to go with the latter.
I was going to say the pretty Italian is also my typical Subway order. So
my wife will probably go with the former, the pretty comma Italian. But I said I'm staying the one without the comma. Donna says the math show will not have multiplication allowed. That might be true. We'll see. Whatever TLC wants. I'm open to notes. Unless it's Laughing Place stuff, then I go, no notes. Pan up. Beautiful. From Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom. Mac has taken us on a tour. We saw a treehouse at 15 frames per second. And we saw so much more. Later on this weekend, we have coverage of the Annie Awards in the animation industry. Mac, you're covering some ESPN violence. Is
that right? Yes. Well, we're covering the youth sports and recreation or great outdoors media event here at Walt Disney World, and if time allows, then some ESPN violence. Yes, and he's talking about UFC 298 on ESPN Plus. Yeah.
Stay tuned to laughingplace.com also on Saturday at 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern for Disney Trivia Live, hosted by Doobie and Gideon, where I'm sure the Splash Mountain log question will come up again.
And anyway. I will point out too, we had some conversation about the difficulties of getting fast or lightning lane, not fast passes anymore, but and other difficulties go into planning a Walt Disney World Resort vacation. So I will do what Jeremiah does to me all the time, put you on the spot here. If you want to plan a Walt Disney World Resort vacation, hey, you were much quicker with it than I am. You can visit our friends at mousefantravel.com.
Beautiful plug, because I was having so much fun talking to you, Mac. I completely forgot. And then Sunday, though, we get to do it again.
Yeah,
because it's probably going to be me.
See. Yes, and weather is
don't
not
say weather permitting. We'll
agreeable.
budget you a poncho.
Yeah, we'll make it work, but it might be a shorter video. We'll say from Disney's Hollywood Studios on Sunday.
So stay tuned. Remember, the best way to stay tuned is to like, subscribe, get notified whenever we go live with content like this, and stay tuned to laughingplace.com for all kinds of fun Disney coverage from throughout all arms of the Walt Disney Company. From Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom. So long, everybody.
Bye.